there's a woman that I would liken to Serena in the sense of her power. I saw her this morning, and the energy that radiates out of her is just glorious. You'll see it for yourself in a short while. Now, having been raised in a household of 7 children, and the youngest of them, you can tell that she had to fight her way to be where she is today. Lady Anita is going to share with you her journey to inspiring leaders, to helping women and men speak their truth. So without further ado, can I ask you to give a round of applause to Lady Anita as she joins us and shares her story. And I think we can give her a bit of a round of applause because she's the youngest of 7, so if there's any of us that's coming from a large family, we must know what it means. So I'm going to enjoy you, Anita, and I'm sure the rest of us will. Okay.
Good morning. Wow, what an honor to be present here. I say to people, the art of showing up. I respect every one of you, all protocol observed. I have come all the way from London to grace this occasion, and also hopefully my talk will bring insight on how we can become more diverse and more inclusive in what we do, especially in our daily behavior. I want to thank you. Thank you. She called you a young woman. You are incredibly beautiful, Despo, and you are a young woman. It doesn't matter if you're 90 or you're 18, you are beautiful, and you are a young woman. Well, I'm Lady Anita Duckworth Bradshaw, and by grace, I run a global organization called the Powerhouse. Every woman is a powerhouse. Why are we powerhouses? It's because we are the incubators of life. And we wear so many hats, like Her Excellency did say. But unfortunately, when life happens to us, we tend to lose momentum. My talk is about the intersection of diversity, inclusion, and engagement. And if we look carefully around the room, it's obvious that the differences that we bring is what diversity is all about. I have been privileged to publish about 7 books, and my job is to create global opportunities for leaders to showcase their brilliance. Because, especially women, we tend to hide our brilliance because we don't want to be judged. But I'm here to remind you that the world depends on you and I. Our light is what the world awaits. Powerhouse. When you have that mental understanding that without you there will be no existence of humanity, whether you're a grandma, we all came from somewhere, but a woman is the foundation of the building of the society. So when we talk about the intersection of diversity, where do we all meet? There's always a middle point. I think for me, I see that as a place of acceptance. We've come from different countries. South Africa. I'm Nigerian originally, my husband is English. And being in a diverse culture like London, you understand that every one of us has something to contribute to make the world a better place, irrespective of our color, our religion, our gender, or what we think is called diversity. I would liken diversity into a bowl of, say, soup. Every ingredient, the salt, the pepper, name it, put together brings about a beautiful dish. And that's what diversity is all about. And once you recognize that each one of us in this room and out there are the colors of life. One of my quotes, I say that the embracing of our uniqueness is the beauty of diversity. So the question now we have to ask ourselves is, how do we create an environment where everyone, every voice is recognized and everyone is appreciated for who they are or what they bring to the table? It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're a CEO of an organization or a stay-at-home mom. We all bring something to the table. And it's about recognizing that fact. The uniqueness of who we are. Women. I'm privileged to run a charity in Nigeria where I support women from the less background. Every one of us, the color of our heart and our mindset and our experiences put together is what diversity is all about. Yes, I'm so happy that we are talking about diversity. And then the inclusion and the engagement. I don't think I'll do much justice in terms of inclusion, but because you have educated us this morning how we can better embrace inclusion. But from the Powerhouse point of view, inclusion is about understanding that everyone has something to offer. In a society today where men are, okay, I'll pause that. Women have so much to offer. So, for that job, why not you? I know I can be what I want to be. But it's for us to understand that we need to find people who believe in us. You need to select those that you share your dreams with, because there are dream killers. But you need to find them. I think that's how the engagement comes in. We create an environment where we can talk as leaders. When I talk about organization, I don't just see the corporate world. I see the home. I see the nation. Whether you're a CEO of a big corporate organization or a stay-at-home mom, you and I have a job to do. By understanding that our children, if you have one child, even that child is a unique being. I say move away from focusing on the container and look deep inside the content. What does the container carry? Because we are so focused on the physical attribute of people. Oh, I think that lady would do a better job. Oh, I think that man would do a better job. But have you sat down with that person to find out what they carry? It's a people. Because of the diverse nature of man, some are shy, introvert. Some are extrovert, like me. But how do we create a safe environment where those who are shy can open up to us? So, recognizing the differences that we all bring and understanding that people want to feel belong. Belonging has to do with being heard. I want to understand that you've heard me, you've understood me. And I liken this onto a movie called Ugly Betty. Those who have seen Ugly Betty, she is the special one amongst the people in her place of work. But because of her speciality, yes, she looked different. People tend to ignore her brilliance. But Ugly Betty saved the company from going down the drain. Because only few people from the organization understood that although Ugly Betty physically to them is different, but the power that she carries within her and the way her mental ability is being channeled to be able to keep data and information saved the company. Those were the people that encouraged Ugly Betty. What am I saying? Do not judge people by their appearances. Think of the content of the container. The container, our children, our staff. What are their strengths? What can they bring to the table in order to move the organization or the family forward? Inclusion has to do with being appreciated for who we are. Leaders in this room, try not to fall into the trap of judging people, especially when it comes to recruitment. I am so happy that you did justice to that. Why can't women be given that opportunity? Because they're their children. Thank you for being a woman. Let me tell you something. If I'm not a woman, I will be so woman. I don't want to be any other thing other than a woman. Because we are the chosen people in the world. We are the chosen people. Don't you ever forget that. We are the custodians of secrets. We are the kingmakers. We are the nation builders. And as a woman, I want you to know that your contribution has a lot to do with the changes we deserve. You see, talk is cheap. I don't like talking. It's about action. You see, the world is not looking for just the certificate holders or the mindset of encyclopedia. The world is looking for action-oriented individuals, those who can talk and those who can get things done. And I believe everyone in this room, one of those people. You and I deserve to understand that our voices matters. Diversity, and we have come from different places and different backgrounds. So it's about respect. It's about creating the environment of trust. And it's also about identifying the strengths. When you identify the strengths that the people you have been called to serve carries, it makes the job a lot easier. As leaders, I've been privileged to be mentored by some of the greats, especially in the personal development industry. And one thing I have learned is about servanthood. It's a position of leadership is a position of servanthood. As a servant, we become parent to the people we've been called to serve. And I think that is one of the greatest gifts as mothers, as nurturers, as kingmakers, as believers of possibilities. I say to people with no disrespect to men, whatever our children will become is on our shoulders as women. You need to recognize that. And understanding the diversity in the world and in our community, and finding a way to include everyone across board. Promoting engagement. I think that is the way forward. Just like Jim Rohn would say, each of us need all of us. And all of us need each of us. Because we each have something to offer to the world. Especially you. Why not you? If we only talk about change and we don't take the step forward to activate the process of change, we'll continue to go around the circle and complain about what is not working. I will talk about policies. Policies are not just made for the corporate world. We can also include that in our homes by identifying the key places where we can effectively work with our children or our spouses or our partners. How can they help you? Communication, engagement. How do we include everybody? We ask for support. Because for us, as women who are out there supporting the growth of others, charity begins at home. If we don't get the right support from our families, how then do we thrive? Families are not usually those who are born, in the same umbrella. Our families. Right now, you are my family because I'm in this room with you. And I am open to learning from you. And I think once we understand that everyone seated here has something to offer to the world, you and I make the world a better place. And we need to start talking and taking action towards achieving our set goals. I will leave a few minutes for questioning. I've seen the time. But I just want to say to you, do not limit yourself as to what you can do or what you can become. And do not allow anyone to sell fear to you, because fear cannot be defined. It's just fears. But remember, everyone you have met, everyone you will meet, is a contribution to the person that you will become. So go on that mission of discovering your tribe and become a servant leader by understanding diversity, creating a platform for inclusion, and engaging those that you serve. This way, the world will become a better place for you and I to thrive. As mothers, as leaders, and most especially as women. Because we are the change the world is waiting for. Thank you so very much.
So ladies, we have a chance to ask Lady Anita for her thoughts. And it will be just two of you that I would invite to ask questions. So if I could have a raise of hands for those of you that would like to ask Lady Anita a question. There's one here from Despo, but I'm not going to take Despo's for the moment, only because you've had quite a lot of time for us right now. And I'd just like to ask two ladies that haven't spoken, and I'll come back to you if we've got time. So lady number one, can you just stand up, tell us your name and ask your question, please?
Hi, I'm Dr. Ruchi Rana. I would just like to ask, since you were introduced as the youngest of 7 siblings, I would just love to know your experience raising her.
Oh, thank you so very much. Well, I'm one of those people who they say the child is the mother of the woman. I don't know if it makes sense. I was 7 years when I left my little village to go to the city to serve. So my leadership journey started at the age of 7 when I had to be responsible for my 2-month-old niece. And along came 4. I served my elder sister for 12 years. And that was where I learned how to defend the right of other people and to serve selflessly, not thinking about myself. And that was where my journey started. So being the youngest was somehow very tough.
Great, thank you so much.
Hi, good morning. My name is Siham. My question is, how did you choose the name of your organization, Powerhouse? What is the inspiration that you got to have this name? Powerhouse?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. I'm a very spiritual person. Powerhouse came off the back of my second book in 2012. 26th of August, to be precise, 2012, I finished the second book, Woman the Powerhouse. And it was nothing to do with Powerhouse, but I just got the word powerhouse. And I had to go back to, because I don't challenge when I get that. I know that it's from a higher source. So I went back to change the book, and it becomes Powerhouse. And from there, we set up the organization, we set up the conference. And today, we're a global brand creating global platform for leaders around the world. So Powerhouse was an inspiration, and I've carried it well, and I hope to carry it into the future.
Great.
So, thank you.
Thank you. So we've got room and time for one more question. So can I invite you, Despo, just to ask your question? And if you'd like to just answer that swiftly for us, Anita. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me? It was actually, Anita, and thank you for saying what you did. And it was really, truly inspirational. It was more a comment about speaking up. And what you say is really, really true, because in order to create environments that are inclusive, but also to recognize diversity, people need to have that courage to speak up. And I know a lot of the people in this room want to know about leadership and how they get there and the challenges. And one of the things that I didn't mention, and I think that you've basically said here, is don't stand back for anyone. I was on an executive committee at the age of 30, my first role in South Africa, and I went and I asked for it. And if you don't do that, you're never going to get anywhere. And don't be afraid of whatever the reaction is. And then you just need to decide whether you're going to stay in that environment or leave that environment. So thank you, it was very inspirational. And my one question to you was, I worked in Nigeria. I was there for 4 years doing the startup for MTN. And I found that Nigerian women are very powerful and very recognized in society, even back in 2001. How did you get from there to where you are now?
Thank you so very much for that question. First, I want to acknowledge, the word being heard. See, we need to speak up, ask for what you want. I'm also the publisher of Powerhouse Global Magazine. I have created a brand out of just a word. I've been privileged to interview the wife of the president, sitting president of Republic of Sierra Leone. So those are the people that we've been privileged to work with. Okay, for me, I discovered that I was different as a child. I had wisdom beyond my age, and I chose to step out of. I didn't grow up in an affluent environment. But I chose to be successful. Why? Because I saw the suffering, and I saw that the wealth is not evenly distributed. And I asked myself, what difference will I make in my world? The difference is by going out there, educating myself, and then creating an environment where others can also thrive. So that is my momentum that I chose. It was a choice to be different and become a global voice. And here I am.
Thank you.